Hello, you're watching Hornbill TV's Explanatory. The stage is all set for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, with the first phase slated to go to polls on 19th April, while the last phase will go to polls on June 1st. In this regard, Nagaland too is geared up for the occasion, with the state going to polls on the 19th of April. In the state, though, a precarious situation looms, as the Eastern Nagaland People's Organization has stood firm over its decision to abstain from the coming Lok Sabha election over the centre's delay in granting the Frontier Nagaland territory. In today's explanatory, we will try to paint a brief picture about what could happen if the 6 eastern districts of Nagaland do not participate in the elections and how much votes will be affected. This time around, 3 candidates, Congress nominee S. Supungmaran Jamir, Nationalist Democratic Progressive Party, and PDA's consensus candidate Dr. Chumben Muri, and independent Hayitung Tungo Lotha are in the fray. While addressing the media, Nagaland Chief Electoral Officer Vyasan R. said full-scale preparations are being made for free and fair elections and also provide a level playing field to all candidates in the lone Lok Sabha seat in the state. He said that a total of 13,17,536 electorates will be exercising their franchisee, including more than 19,000 first-time voters. Nagaland has more female electors than male. The state has 6,60,807 female voters, while the number of male voters is 6,56,729, he said. The state has 22,140 senior citizens above 85 years of age, 6,688 persons with disabilities, and 7,847 service voters, the CEO said. Vyasan said the election office has been trying to attract voters to the polling booths by holding various awareness campaigns. The ECI and CEO's office, along with the office of the returning officer, are working together for a free and fair election by providing a level playing field for all contesting candidates and the political parties, he said. The state will deploy 170 to 180 polling parties for 2,342 polling stations. Around 750 polling stations have been categorized as critical, he said. Asked about the letter submitted by the Eastern Nagaland People's Organization to ECI through his office on April 1st conveying its decision to abstain from the polls, he said there is no further communication. There are 738 polling stations in the ENPO area. Polling parties will be deputed and polling stations will be set up, while it is up to the voters whether to cast their vote or not, he said. He said that the Ministry of Home Affairs has sanctioned 48 companies of Central Armed Police Force for the state, which are arriving in batches, while the final induction will be completed by very soon. Now, examining the fact sheet on the data of the voters, Dimapur district has a total of 1,22,283 voters, while Kohima has a total of 1,22,416 voters. Perin has got a total of 60,962 voters. Puguboto, though not a district, has 15,912 voters. Phek district will see 1,08,435 voters exercise their franchising. Chumugidma and Newland districts has a total of 1,06,218 voters. Amongst the forward districts, Mokchung has the largest contingency of voters, with the total voters being 1,54,862. Wokha district has a total of 1,08,140, while Zunubotho district has a total of 1,01,238 voters. And lastly, Tseminyu district has a total of 24,285 voters. The districts mentioned just now are the forward districts that will be participating in this year's general elections. And now, the focus is on the 6 eastern districts under the aegis of Eastern Nagaland People's Organization, where the organization has reiterated its stand to abstain from taking part in the electoral process. In a letter to the Chief Election Commissioner of India through the Chief Electoral Officer of Nagaland, the ENPO, the apex body of 7 Naga tribes of the region, said its members have collectively decided not to take part in the parliamentary polls. The people of Eastern Nagaland, under the aegis of ENPO, had on March 19, 2024, reaffirmed its commitment to the Chenmoho resolution, wherein it was further reaffirmed and resolved not to participate in any central and state elections against the failure to settle the creation of Frontier Nagaland territory as offered and assured by the Ministry of Home Affairs on December 7, 2023, to be set before the announcement of Model Code of Conduct to the Lok Sabha 2024 by the ECI, the ENPO letter said. Emphasizing that the decision is not intended as an act of defiance against the electoral machinery or the principles of democracy, the NPO said it is rather a principled stance taken within the framework of the Constitution of India and is aimed at drawing attention to the legitimate grievances and aspirations of the people of Eastern Nagaland. Repeating the words of Chief Electoral Officer of Nagaland, Vyasan R., there are 738 polling stations in the ENPO area. Polling parties will be deputed and polling stations will be set up, while it is up to the voters whether to cast their vote or not, he said. Now, looking at the data from fact sheet, there is a total of 4,632 voters from the 6 eastern districts, that is Mon, Tuensang, Longling, Kifri, Shamator and Noklak. The biggest electoral district in the state, Mon district, with a total voters at 1,58,075 will not be taking part in the 18th Lok Sabha elections, whereas Tuensang has a total votes of 77,256 but will also be abstaining. Longling has a total of 48,914 voters and they too will be abstaining. Kifri has a total of 57,627 voters, while Noklak has a total of 39,204 voters. Shamator, one of the youngest districts amongst the 6 districts in Eastern Nagaland, has a total of 19,556 voters. A host of leaders, including Chief Minister Nipi Rio, has called for the ENPO not to boycott the elections and to take part as it is their electoral duty. The CM in his effort even met with the ENPO to reach middle ground, but sadly it was futile. Increasing the effort, Nagaland Cabinet even met with the Eastern Nagaland Gazetted Officers Association to convince and persuade the ENPO to take part in the electoral process and not to abstain from it. Yet, the ENPO has reaffirmed its original stand and holds firm against participating in the election. Nagaland had its first taste of electoral politics in the year 1964 after it had rejected general elections on 3 occasions, in 1952, 1957 and 1962, back when the Nagaland was not carved out as a state. In short, it does look like history is repeating itself in the eastern Nagaland districts. As political parties have already begun their campaigning for their respective candidates, will it be according to what the parties had imagined before ENPO's decision to abstain from the polls? Recently, HornbillTV spoke to contending candidates and they shared their views on the impasse, with many tall leaders claiming that even though ENPO are abstaining from the polls, it will not have a major impact in the victory as there are more electors in the forward areas. If ENPO abstains, the total voters in Nagaland would drop to 9,16,904. With the Election Commission stressing that each vote is an important vote, only on June 4th will the impact, if any, be seen. But the stage has been set and it's game on for the 3 candidates. For more explainaries like this, keep watching HornbillTV. Goodbye.